ransomware, which is when you can correlate different kind of codes to hack people, because internet is where every day of our life, in as much that we are making use of these devices, this technology, we are leaving down a digital footprint. Are you with me now? So, I'm going to be explaining some factors that we need to consider. We check information on the kind of devices that we use. There are some devices that are less vulnerability to each other. For instance, now, I was trying to work on something last night. I wanted to create a code whereby if anyone interacts with the website, I can get your phone percentage. I can get your phone percentage and I can get your IP address. And I get to notice that it is less active on iOS devices. It worked pretty fine on my MacBook, but on my iPhone, it doesn't really work. It's showing more like a log error in my console. So, different devices. So on Android phone, Android is prone to attack to iOS devices. So now, I want to give you an example. A few years back, when I was in 200 level, I got a mail from, because I applied for a job, I got a mail from them. But to my notice, it was a spoofing mail from one account, one unknown account, anonymous. So he sent me a mail. He said, "Hi, Samuel. Welcome on board, blah, blah, blah." Welcome on board. And funny enough, I didn't input Samuel in my application. My name is Solari Ayomide Samuel, but I didn't input Samuel as my other name. So I was just naming. I was super careful because this attack cloned this career page. It cloned it 100%. But where the issue was just the domain name. There's something that we call domain extension. For instance, now we have funab.edu.ng. I cannot get funab.edu.ng anymore. It's been assigned to Funab. So now this guy used another domain extension that is quite unfamiliar to me. Instead of .com, he used .com.ng. I was like, .com.ng, this extension is. But I was super careful to check the whole write-ups. I inspect every other thing. And to be very honest with you, aside the extension, there is no error at all. Everything seems so perfect. It was later the following week, I got a mail that most people were being scammed, that they asked them to pay some of our months to the HR unit and all. So that's different ways you can get hacked. You can get hacked in different methods. You can get hacked in different diverse means. All you just have to do is just be very super conscious of what you interact with online, on what you input online, and now we have the web hijacker now. I met a guy during first summit in Botswana. He's the CTO at, I think, there were two, CTO Metadesk and CTO at one Peru in Europe. And we were just talking and gisting, and he asked me to come to his hotel room, and immediately he opened his laptop. I saw a lot of different tools. I was like, what's this? Tell me more. I need to understand how you make use of this. The guy is an offensive hacker. He's acting like he's an ethical hacker, professional. So we're now enlightening me like this is another tool that we use to hijack SEOs. SEO means search engine optimization. Now, if you check most websites have what they call metadata. Metadata. I don't know, maybe we have any web developer on board. If you inspect a web page, HTML console log, you see the metadata. For instance, if you go to Jumia website, you see a lot of metadata from electronics, Nokia, different data. So what all this hacker does is they will hijack the metadata and correlate it with the recent search optimization. So now, instances whereby if you are talking about sneakers with your friends, I would love to get Adidas. You check Adidas online. Before you go back to your IG, you start seeing different sneakers ads. That's how this technology can destroy us and can help us along the line. So you have to be very conscious on the link you press or the link you interact with. Two, you have to be very super conscious about the software that you download online. A friend of mine, he graduated from FUNAB, he was armed of $1,200 on GitHub. GitHub. Let me explain. He's into, he's a Node.js developer, he's a backend, blah, blah, blah. And they added a malicious code in the GitHub repo. So for instances, now if I want to work on a code project now, and I want my work to be very fast as possible, I can just go to Google, crude function, Python, GitHub. It's going to list a whole lot of repo where I can clone and edit and make use of. So now, unfortunately for this friend of mine, this GitHub that I cloned, he wanted to use the GitHub as a EVM Flashport project. This is web operating now. He wanted to make use of the EVM project, whereby he's going to input his private key, used to interact with the testnet, Ethereum, Polygon, mainnet, and all that. That there is a callback function in that code, hidden, that is being obfuscated, that you will be able to see until you deobfuscate it. So anybody can fall into this trap. Anybody, no matter how smart you are, no matter how good you are, no matter how technically inclined you are, you can fall into it. The only thing you just have to do is very conscious of what we do online, very conscious of the web pages that we interact with, conscious of the software we download online, and always make sure that you update your software. For instance now, we are using iOS 16 point something is out. They are not for fun. They are patching some loopholes. They are making it less vulnerable for hackers to penetrate and get into our data and access to our phones or any other thing. So I want to make this session an open up thing. Because I would love to show us a lot of hacking methods, especially the evil genes, where we can see how evil genes capture data from intermediaries. For instance now, if you want to log in your Facebook, it's either you log in through the mobile app or through the web app. If you want to log in through the web app, you will input your phone number, your email, and your password. All what evil genes have to do is capture that particular cookie session, grab it, send it to me. As you are inputting your password, I'm also seeing the input from my hand. As you are logging in, we are logging in together. That's how powerful emojis can be. If possible, they send you 2FA. As you are inputting the 2FA, I'm also inputting the 2FA. So this technology is advanced, and we have to just follow up with the emerging technologies by having a proper education and a adequate awareness. And shout out to this organizer of this event for bringing this up, because we are the we that can help each other. And another thing that we need to be careful of is how to use our data online. Yesterday, I was on my IG and I saw this story that they said, screenshot your last call logs. Who saw it? Call logs. That people are screenshotting their call logs, putting it on their stories. If I want to be very desperate about a particular person, I can check through the call logs and I can spoof. For instance, now let's say you save your this thing, maybe your gas email now, maybe FaceTime, as let's say ayo@jekako.com. Definitely, I can spoof ayo at jekako.com, whereby if you are in your inbox, it's going to be showing ayo@jekako.com, and it's someone else. But we just have to just be very careful on what we expose to hacker online, how we interact with most hacking thing happens during the web apps. Mobile pen test is always very limited because hacker will have done the penetration testing before they release any app. But the most vulnerable part of this mix is the web app because web can be vulnerable. You can copy any source code online and patch it, compile, and it will work. But do you know the code structure, the auditing? Do you know the logic that the developer used? So all these things have to be in line. It's not necessarily mean as a personal thing, as an individual, as a startup, as a company. We are very, very careful on how we interact. Lastly, if you want to know much more about cybersecurity, we are working on a LMS platform at Jeka Code where you can learn and have a live practical experience. There's a thin line between me coming down here to tell you this is even James. Have live practical experience on how this thing works, why it works, and how it works. So we have our deck downstairs where you can register. If possible, you can get the registration link from the website, jekako.africa. I'm open up to questions, please. Any questions? So I assume everyone here understand everything I said now. Thank you very much.
But you can do it better. It's a very good round. He has done excellently well this afternoon. I remember before he came up.
I have over 16 lots. If you are tickets9@gmail.com, kindly stay forward. We have souvenirs for you. If you are Fatima or kindly step out. We have souvenirs for you. If you are Olumiri, Damilola23@gmail.com, kindly step out, please. Omologo 4G, kindly step out as well. Tariq Patron, step out. IODG and Joseph Boy Ibo, step out. So thank you.
Okay, please, if any of those are your details, please step out and follow him now. Like, don't follow him. You've lost it. Please follow him now. If you scan the barcode and those were your details, please follow him now. Okay. So as I was saying, before the speaker came up, I met him outside and he was saying he does not want to come here and start saying words, story. He wants to do something practical, and indeed, he did something practical, and I'm very, very happy that we were able to learn from it. So a very big round of applause for our speaker. Once again, a very, very big round of applause for him. Thank you, Mr. Solari Ayomide. Okay. So we'll be moving on to